Hello everyone, I'm Marty. I'm a senior developer advocate at GitLab, and in today's GitLab Duo coffee chat, we want to look into another challenge. I had the idea, I have never written COBOL, so I know it's been used everywhere and everyone wants to kind of understand it, or maybe even like replace it with something else. Um, but what exactly is it? And I think there is a couple of resources out there and training courses. So I was curious if I can use just GitLab Duo, like code suggestions or Duo Chat, probably focusing on Duo Chat in the first iteration, to understand what a COBOL program does, what the syntax is for, and also aiming to like fix it or refactor it. Maybe there's a way to use AI to kind of do that. Now, the goal here is not to use the browser. So this is the project which we will be looking at in this video. But instead, we want to go into an IDE, which in this case will be Visual Studio Code. But it would also certainly work in JetBrains or any other IDEs that are supported by GitLab Duo. Now, you can see the README here. And one of the things I can do is, let's maybe make this a little bigger and say, please explain what COBOL is and its syntax, for instance. This is something we can ask GitLab Duo Chat, and it's super fast. So it knows about COBOL, explains a lot. And just to scroll up, it's a high-level programming language primarily designed for business applications. That's a good hint, a good point. It was first introduced in 1959, so quite old, and has been widely used in mainframe systems, so like IBM and COS or ZOS, I think is the correct name. There's a readable syntax. Okay. There's quite a few things to understand. Now, maybe we can change scope and say, please create a COBOL program that shows the first steps. Could be something like that, or maybe refine that. The great thing here is I'm using GitLab.com here. In the background, Duo Chat uses the latest Claude 3.5 LLM in the background. So it's super fast. And it also provides a lot of context in the responses. So I really like that, like certainly, and there's it generates us a program that will ask for a username, greet them, and perform a simple calculation. The program demonstrates several key concepts in COBOL: the structure, the variable declaration, and so on. Okay, it's a COB extension. For some reason, I've read online that it could be COBOL. Compile it using the COBOL compiler, run the compiled program. Tell me more about the COBOL compiler. Which system do I need? Can I do it on my macOS? A lot of questions, but let's see. Presumably, I'm guessing I cannot really use it. Oh, interesting. Can actually install it via Homebrew. Okay, yeah, we can try that in a bit, or maybe just try it now. Let's just copy that, then use Command Shift P to create a new terminal and paste this into my terminal. And let's see if we can, oh, it was renamed, but it knows about it. It installed it and so on. So certainly we need the command line to compile that. Okay, interesting. I've never done that in my life before. So we want to compile maybe the HELLO.cobol example. Does it work? Warning, line not terminated. Okay. Maybe this was me copy pasting the courses. So there's a great programming course for COBOL where I copied the examples. So the copyright is with them. It's CC, commercial, not commercial. It's a Creative Commons license. So everyone can learn from that. So now that we've compiled it, we should be able to run it. Oh, it's actually called hello. It has the X flags. So, oh, amazing. My first COBOL program. Actually, I didn't think of this while preparing the challenge, but it's great. So maybe let's update that and just ensure that we kind of save the prompts. I also can do that later on for the README. So you will find an updated instruction set here. What I also wanted to like show or like try is I've copied that structure from the courses and I didn't really understand it. What I can do here is I can select the source code and then say, or use GitLab Duo chat to explain it, which typically should provide us with an overview of the capabilities or like the variables, the structure, and so on. Now it's taking a little bit. We can also refine the prompt in order to, for example, say explain it with the focus on a high-level summary, or on the other side, explain it like I'm 5, because sometimes the structure is not that helpful. The other thing that we can try in the next couple of minutes is to get an explanation in a different programming language, which I also tried. And actually GitLab Duo chat proposes that. I've seen that pattern. So here it describes like what it does and like printing hello. So it's a basic hello world program in COBOL. And the interesting thing here is, here's how you might represent this program in a more modern structured programming language like Python for comparison. So it helps to visualize what the program is doing. It's a simple idea here now, but we can use that in a future prompt to actually make GitLab Duo explain COBOL, but in a different programming language to understand the algorithm, to understand the workflow, which can be helpful in understanding COBOL, especially if you need to maintain it, or you take over a project and need to even like fix certain things. Now, in order to kind of test a few more things, I think I also imported this from the learning course. I have no idea what it does. It does something. Student, environment, envision, something with files, data, records. Okay, to be honest, I have no idea. But we can select it and again use explain and now say explain like I am 5. Which can be helpful to force Duo chat into providing a different angle in explaining. And while it is kind of thinking and analyzing this, I mean, it's not a long program. We can also try to actually compile these examples. So now we have the COBOL. Yes, this line is not terminated. Okay, that was again me importing that. Okay, it has written some files. Interesting. Is PRT done? It's binary PRT line. Interesting. Okay, now I've reached the timeout. Typically demo because, oh, no, now that I've called it out, it decides it isn't a timer. That's great. Imagine you have a special notebook. That's our program where we write some numbers in the message. First, tell the notebook what it's called. Then we're going to use two special pages. One for writing numbers, that's PRT line, and another one for writing a message, PRT done. Okay, we described how the pages look like. We open a numbers page. We count from 1 to 10. And once the counting is done, we write a special message. Okay, we write today's date and the current time. My first is a comment. Close the page. We close the number page and say we're done. Okay. I'm not sure if my terminal is actually right for that, but I think PRT done. Maybe this is another binary I can execute here. Probably not. Permission denied. If I do, okay, it's some sort of, oh, what is that? PRT. I hope you can see that in the recording. PRT done. What is that file? That's data. Okay. Anyhow, it's printing the current date and time, which is represented as this. My first C set, or not C, set OS COBOL program. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I didn't know that you could compile and run COBOL programs on macOS. So it was an amazing idea to actually record a video of that. Now for the challenge itself, there's also, what did I see? There's another program which also uses open files and so on. And I was again curious of how this works. Explain, focus on the algorithm. No, actually explain and use Python as an alternative way to highlight the algorithm. Something like that. Or maybe just explain, use Python or something similar as the prompt. Let's see, this is CBL 0033, so we can also compile that. That honestly, I don't know. I don't really know what the syntax should be. There's a syntax error. Okay. Unexpected environment. Interesting. Certainly it tries to analyze the program. It's a little longer, so it's like 130 lines. But it also would be interesting how to fix that. Certainly environment division. Okay, it's actually possible to ask it and have it write some Python code that does actually the same. Oh, we could potentially refactor COBOL into Python then. It's quite a challenge. Okay, so the IO operations, reading records from an input file and printing formatted output to another file. And in Python, I would be reading files, read and write the first record, 10 more and more. And 34, call a subprogram called hello. Okay, where's the hello? Is it hello? Is it me you're looking for? Or is it another hello? Okay, where's the hello? Yeah, it's calling a subprogram. Interesting. Okay. So in Python, it would kind of read the record, write the record, and then using a CSV file. Okay. Okay, it's a simplified version. Okay, a simplified representation. So in essence, it's more helping to understand it, but I'm not sure if you can immediately refactor everything to Python. But to be honest, this is a GitLab Duo coffee chat, which is focused on a challenge. Let's try to refactor that into Python. I don't know if it works. I haven't tested this before. So it's really like the first time experience you get now in the recording. It might not work, but it would also be interesting how to fix the syntax error. Okay, interesting. Focus on the main logic and structure. So I think we might be getting something that is similar, but I'm not sure if it does exactly the same. I think what's great here is that it uses a class or different classes, so object-oriented programming with the different methodologies, and it captures some key points, data class. It does assumptions on the input and output file, doesn't include error handling. Okay, but we can certainly refactor that and fix that later on. For now, let's say I want to, because fix doesn't exist yet, but we're working on that, we can use refactor, the workaround, and say fix the environment error. And then hope it works. Oh, it's actually now fast again. Probably the LLM has some coffee on the table like I do. No, just kidding. Sometimes there's a certain latency and some calculations required. We need to update the file control section in the environment division. Here's the refactored code is the necessary changes. What is the difference? We have the environment division, file control. Organization is sequential to both select statements. Okay, it's adding these lines. This explicitly defines the file organization while it can help prevent environment errors. Ensured that the file names are correctly assigned to your job control language. Remains the same. These changes which I have by providing. I have no idea. But let's try it. Data provision and just replace that. Yeah, I need to fix that. But if we sort of execute that now, we run into more errors because something is not defined. But I think this is for some reason, maybe it's the problem that it needs. No. This is interesting. So unexpected literal. That's I think program ID header is missing. To be honest, I have no idea how is the indent required in COBOL. Show some examples. I'm certainly a little confused by this. It looks it's similar to Python, I guess. Oh, COBOL's indentation is not just for readability, but it's actually part of the language syntax. Here's an explanation. Fixed format. But how would I be indenting this? Should I just I don't know, I think these are spaces, and now here I have tabs. No. Maybe let's, I don't know exactly what the syntax is. Maybe let's keep this and see if we can fix it line by line. Maybe. So the dot needs to go away. And certainly it might fail again. Environment division. File control. What else does it do? Print line assigned to line. Input direction, environment division. That would be fun. Okay, it seems that this indent is required. So you really need to keep that format, and then inline you kind of have a space, and then write it top down how it works. Okay. I don't know what this is. What is it for? Maybe let's try this. Okay, they have 4 main divisions and the environment division. I mean, we will also add that so you can immediately do that, but explain this error and then copy paste it. Okay. To be honest, I don't see a difference. Indentation. Follow that. All division names start in column 8. Okay. There's a period at the end of the author statement. Yeah, there is a period. Double check the entire, especially the correctly formatted. Now that's an interesting call. Program ID. Maybe maybe this. So if I read that correctly, this is too much. Maybe this needs to be fixed. No. So the environment division, what should be put into the environment division? I would assume there's a programming course lab that kind of fixes that problem. Configuration section, source computer, my computer, input section. Okay. That's quite interesting. So maybe we revert that change. And the environment division is the input output section. File controller. Okay. So this is kind of the division, and this is the data. This is the data, this is the data, and this is the data. Okay. Now I have a better understanding of the syntax, but for some reason, it's still failing. So maybe Refactor fix potential problems. I said I cannot leave that, so I cannot leave the IDE, but I'm certainly not sure what this means. Did it appear a program ID name? Okay. Maybe there's a period missing. Maybe this is the error. Okay. Oh, okay. Similar to the semicolon in like Perl or C++ or different languages. Here's the period or the dot is a requirement to signal the ending of the line. So certainly I used like refactor with different prompts in order to figure out what the problem would be. So it also provided me with something, some more instructions, but this is actually, it's great because I don't know what the program is doing, but we should be able to execute it. Why doesn't exist? I honestly have no idea what it should contain, but it contains some account data. Explain, show how the file format looks for and create an example. Let's see if that prompt works. Otherwise, we kind of need to stop that. Oh, now I've hit an error with GitLab Duo chat. Let's try the different approach. Explain. Show the file format for file. Try a simple approach. Use the structure. Maybe I can copy paste it. This would be amazing. Okay. Yeah, certainly it's not what I expected. But yes, let's maybe switch to what else do we have here? For some reason it's still processing, so there's like there's a trick for this. If Duo chat hangs for whatever reason, you can use the Command Shift P to search for Duo chat and start a new conversation here. This is implicitly calling I think /reset in the background, so we can start a new context, which can also be helpful because we are starting a new COBOL program here. Let's just use explain what this does. And this is something for account records from a file, a similar thing what we did before. Okay, that's actually great. And I think this session turned from 5 minutes exploration to actually compiling, fixing, refactoring COBOL code, and then running it on a local macOS, which is amazing. So can we fix potential problems? Let's see if this works. It's actually, it knows a lot. Let me describe it like this. Or not it. GitLab Duo knows a lot. And for someone who hasn't written any COBOL code in its entire life before, I just know a couple of languages or programming languages. This is certainly super helpful to get started. And now again, we would actually need a file. So I would leave that to you in order to reproduce the GitLab Duo code challenge here, or the challenge, and continue learning with GitLab Duo and COBOL and refactoring, fixing problems, using explain in different variations. So to summarize what we learned today, we used GitLab Duo chat to learn about COBOL, how to get started, how to create a program for some specific things. Then we looked into some examples from the COBOL programming course to understand what it does. Then went off script with compiling the COBOL program on macOS. So we asked Duo chat how to actually achieve that. We explored prompts, how to explain the source code like M5. We also learned that Duo chat is capable of explaining COBOL in a different programming language, so to understand the structure with Python. And it's even like possible to refactor COBOL code itself, or try to refactor that into another language like Python. There's a whole like more learning in this session, but that's about it. You will see more refactoring and explanation challenges in the future on this channel, or in this playlist, the GitLab Duo Coffee Chat playlist. All resources will be linked in the video description. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.